You got it?
Awesome. Okay, doing a quick little test. Does anybody need more time for anything?
Well, I haven't committed the 7 deadly child sacrifices yet, so give me a
One by one.
Each one takes an hour, though, so...
Wiz is there. Anthony, are you there?
I'm here.
Shelby, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, Wesley and Jeff?
Yeah.
Alright, we're starting. We don't, play the... Alright, that should have worked. Let's refresh this.
Is for some she'll play. He's not even laying down, he's just sitting there.
We don't, Okay, cool. There's gonna be a lot of time of just me, like, sitting here staring at my screen. I was just making sure everything is working. Alright, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group A, Sky of Wolves. Episode 1 of the third and final saga of Book 2. We have most of a full party tonight. I will be controlling Teak for anything important that happens or that requires her input. And yeah, so again, disclaimer at the top of the video: if you're a student watching this content is rated PG-13. Please see your parents before you watch it. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight. It is a role-playing game, and it is fun-tacular. Everything you're going to see tonight is live storytelling, and more so than any of the other groups, nothing you're going to see is scripted. We are playing in a homebrewed setting called Ilderon. The link for which is in the description of this video. You can click it and read more about the setting. Our story tonight takes place with Group A, and what we'll go and do, since this is session 1, everybody give your character's name and one sentence description about your character. Starting at the top of Discord, that's going to be Wiz controlling Alward. That's a pretty good description of him.
And that was also more than one sentence.
I feel like Kara would be so much more charismatic than Alward.
The worst part is that, Kara actually is more charismatic. Yeah, Howard is just, little halfling, all about that nature because, people that suck. His best friend is a bear. And he will commit the stab on anyone who commits the stupid after he commits snark upon them.
If response to snark equals stupid, execute.exe stab. I don't
Essentially.
Alright, next we have Anthony controlling Soulmane.
Howdy.
Alright. Oh, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Woody. Howdy.
Oh, hey, look, it's a JD. That's your whole description, Anthony, is just hi?
You guys hear?
I can hear you, but you are breaking up.
Is that any better?
Yes, that's significantly better.
Sorry. He's the lockpick / stabby group.
Okay. Next we have Shelby controlling Fractus, the other rogue.
Fractus is the card player of the group, and the human lie detector.
Arguably the better rogue. I'm kidding.
Oh shit.
Then we have Wesley controlling Tobias.
Hello, I'm Wesley. I'm controlling another tryhard in the group. A wizard who is mostly shrouded, wears a mask, just one, and the rest of him is usually hidden under a heavy coat. Well-spoken, and the resident arcane caster of the group.
All right. Then we have Jeff controlling Ogun.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jeff. I'm playing Ogun. He's a barbarian. He's a druid. He's a professor of zoology. Ogun, Three Strike, Maddest Wolf, Dawn Eye, Son of Viola, Thrice Dead, First Wind of Anga Yandar, and voted most likely to give himself a tiny little appropriate scar when he killed something big. It's Ogun.
I feel like that was like the best bachelor pitch, and then, Fractus is just sitting there like, stay away from my woman.
I just realized.
Agreed.
Until the
Ogun is
Arcane
just the
Caster showed
Hulk.
up, he was the smartest one in the party. So.
Guys, Ogun is just the Hulk.
Professor Hulk.
The new Hulk, not the old Hulk.
Yeah.
Endgame was a really good movie.
And finally we have JD controlling Teak. JD, do you want me to give a description about Teak? I don't even know if you can talk.
I'll be controlling Teak Helmani Kalfira, sorry. It's been a while since I've had to say that name. I'm a little rusty, forgive me. Teak basically is that one cop on the force who's like a day from retirement and who's reasonably, but the difference is she's aware of the trope and is pretty sure she's going to be dead by the end of it. But she's okay with that because it's all in the service of God. Because she's a religious zealot, but the good kind.
It's gonna be real nice when we see retirement. Yeah, we're just a day. Oh God, Steve.
So the resident moment.
JD,
Yeah,
if at some point in this campaign I don't hear you say I'm too old for this shit, I'm very disappointed.
I'm pretty sure I already said that like a couple of times now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's been done.
Yeah, I think it happened when Rosero used the hat of disguise to disguise himself as Teak and started dancing on the table and drinking.
Yep.
Only Teak doesn't swear because it's a Christian server.
Alright, yeah, so give me a couple minutes. I'm going to do your guys' epilogue, and then, we're just gonna jump right into it. Okay, so,
Wait, wouldn't it be prologue?
No, because this is in the same playlist. This is the final part of your guys' last story. So anybody who's watching your guys' final session to this one isn't going to know what happened in the in-between. The last thing they're going to know is you guys are bloodied on a cliffside, charging towards the temple of Hearthfire. And then, the next session, you guys are just walking pleasantly into Sky's Reach. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to summarize it. Obviously, if you watched the last session, the end of Season 2, the group fought Terrorcry on the mountainside. His only job was to delay the party from reaching Elena as she finished the ritual. he did just that, basically collapsing the mountain pass on them, dropping a few of their members, them getting themselves back up, and them beleagueredly landing the final killing blows on him before he could get away. And I say like that quickly, but it was like really a big dramatic moment. He's dead. It's sad. So from there, the party moved on to the temple of... it's not Hearthfire, it's Fianfell. That was this one. Where the Earthfire was, and there was it was like a grisly, horrific sight. There was a ton of dead stuff in there. The elven guards that had been protecting the Earthfire had been... a good number of them had been slaughtered as an undead horde had somehow gotten to the temple and attacked it. The horde was there and mostly destroyed. The remaining elves who had won the fight were going through and killing all the twitching bodies, and then some of the living ones, making sure that they don't, get up raised as skeletons or zombies. And it appeared that a third party attacked the temple while the party was camping and then making their way down here. Among the survivors of these elven warriors, Boskai, the woman who had met with the party the night before to warn them of the dangers of the pass,
and stole my heart.
And stole Fractus's heart, was one of the remaining survivors and was in charge of the and was in charge of withdrawing the elven forces. When asked why they were withdrawing, she informed them that their forces were here specifically to protect the Earthfire. When she informed the Milanthogar that the Earthfire was in danger from an internal threat, Elena Ladelia, he ordered a quick defense of it, and as he was organizing their ranks, a undead horde attacked, stepping out of the shadows and descending upon them. In the chaos, the groups were split up as best they could. Boskai and her soldiers took command in the antechamber and held back the horde, while another horde defended the inner Earthfire. There was a saboteur inside of that group, and they killed 9 of the elven warriors that were with them, I think. And it was a pretty horrific scene, magical burns and blast and disintegrations going every which way. And then in the chaos of the scuffle, the Earthfire was stolen by the time Boskai and her soldiers were able to push back the horde and secure the temple. Fractus went and inspected the inner room and concluded from everything that Soulmane and Alward have told him, in Elena's style, she doesn't kill people at all if she can avoid it, and she lets others do the killing for her. They concluded that she was not working alone, and there was a powerful caster with her. That said, Boskai was put in charge of withdrawing the elven troops and executing the prisoner, the commander of the Archblight forces that they captured. Rather than executing him, Boskai has taken it upon herself to deliver him to the Alilnagian capital, and Fractus and the party have read this as more of an excuse more of her using it as an excuse to explore the human nation before she withdraws and goes back to Girion. That said, the party has joined her in escorting her to Alilnagai, or rather to the capital of Sky's Reach. Their hunt for Elena continues. So, from there, that moves us into tonight's document, which I don't have completely written out, so I'll not post this later. But anyways, I'll read what I do have of it. So, you guys have been chasing beauty, obviously. And that is a threefold reference to practice chasing Bosky. Why Elena is doing what she's doing, what you guys told you at the Earthfire, and then, obviously you guys trying to hunt down Elena, who is this young prodigy of a mage. Elena Lidelia was successful in stealing the Southern Earthfire. The hunt for her continues. The party of Justicars have arrived in the capital of Ililnagai, the capital of Sky's Reach. The Anganthel of the Elven armies, Bosky Alareth, has escorted her prisoner to the large coastal city. There she plans to explore the capital on her own, while the humans debate the fate of the Archblight General. Sky's Reach Sky's Reach and its expansive lower city present the perfect opportunity to track Elena Lidelia's contacts and movements, and perhaps see what she has been up to, if she has hired any more underlings or lackeys. To replace the growing number that you guys are cutting off slowly. Alright. So, our story tonight takes place in Sky's Reach. Before we move here, for all the viewers, and I can close these because I don't need them. For all the viewers, if you are looking at the screen, our story takes place in Ililnagai tonight. That's the country in the black circle. And then the red circle is the coastal city of Sky's Reach. It is the capital of the nation. Alright, if I was a good DM, I would have already had my notes out for this place. Wesley, it might be like 20 minutes before I introduce your character. Just giving you the forewarning. Alright. So, you guys... Let's do that and this, because this makes me happy. Alright, you guys are in Sky's Reach. It is a colossal city. And you guys would have came in here from Caravan, so that would put you guys at the north part of the city. And that would be, let's see, if that is Honor, you guys are on, we'll put you right here. This is Elegance Walk. And then in the lower road is Elegance Reach. This is the very, 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 very nice capital. It has two sections of the city. You guys can see the lower city, which is that outer ring. Then if you guys scroll to the right part of this map, you'll see a color-coded one. That is that inner city. That black wall going around it is that black wall. Actually, here I can draw. So this black wall right here corresponds directly to this section over here, and that is the elevation of the city. The warmer the color, the higher up it reaches. It's stacked on top of it itself, reaching towards the sky. The northern gates, stepping into the city, Ogun would know the Maphis University, where he is from, occupies this entire ward outside the northeastern city gates. Here we go. Occupies that entire ward right there is the Maphis University. Would anybody else have contacts here? Oh, Soulmane would have contacts here too.
I could find one.
I don't have contacts, but I do have a very classic statement. Ew. People.
Who do I know here?
You have done work for the Ruby Shadow. You wouldn't know who's like in charge of it here, but you'd have a way of contacting them. I'm grabbing their contact person for this city real quick. It is already rolled up within a little Nagai. Sky's Reach, that's where it is. Julale. She is a... What'd she sell? Balms and salves. She sells salves and medicinal supplies inside of Honor's Reach, which is this area over here. And you know that she also sells... Oh, because she also sells poison. Yeah, you would know she's also a contact to the criminal underground. In here, I'm just like, why would I have a medic as part? Yeah, but yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. So, getting into town.
Real quick, 2 questions.
Yes.
1, is Mayfist University the one where Malik met Ben's character?
Stormier? Yes,
yeah, Stormier.
They studied there briefly. It has a open door policy. If you want to learn, they will teach you.
Man, that was so long ago. That was actually one of the points that Malik and Stormier bonded over. Hey, we've both been to college, unlike the rest of these.
Yeah, Malik was the highest intelligence, a college dropout.
Oh, Bloodoids.
Yep, that was Malik. Once the guy with the highest intelligence in the party. Died because he took on a couple of barbarians while he had a broken rib.
Intelligence is...
That leads into my second question, by the way. I have those broken bones.
I mean, intelligence is all well and good, but if you got no common sense...
Oh, your guys' injuries have healed on the road. You took time to care for them, which is one of the reasons why it took you so long to get here.
Okie dokie. Proceed.
I didn't say that. I didn't tell you guys, it is the 26th of Hunter. That was the thing I was missing. It is the 26th of Hunter. You guys fought at the Temple of Hearthfire on the 18th of Hunter. Alright, I've got that for my notes.
Say 25th of Hunter?
It's the 26th of Hunter.
26th. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you guys met Bosky on the 17th. It's almost been a week of, or the 16th and 17th. I don't know why I have the 16th and 17th. You guys met her on one of those days. It's almost been a week since Fractus met the love of his life.
That's right.
I think it was because it was the middle of the night when it met her.
Yeah.
Have I given her picture yet?
Oh, the one you drew of her?
Yes.
You know what? No. That is going to be something we'll handle here. Did anybody have any more questions before we start?
No.
Okay, so yeah, stepping, and don't I have I pray I put a thing for her. Stepping into the city, into the busy streets, Bosky is going to have her, Bosky is going to have her carriage, 2 elven guards with her griffin resting on top of it, and 2 horses pulling it. And she's going to be walking alongside of it with the party, leading the horses. And yeah, she's just going to be in marvel at this capital and the looming and towering buildings. And I think the first thing she is going to say, and let me grab one more d20. Boskai is going to look at the towering keep rising out of the center of the city and say, it's made of marble. It's massive.
Wow, real impressive. They made a building out of some special stone. Woo! Next.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, looking at Outward, she's just gonna have a dry expression and say, well, you have to understand, marble's only mined here on Cedal. It's not a material other places have in great supply.
Oh, no, I am fully aware that it is a rare substance, and look at it just being completely wasted. Just look at the utter disrespect for its pure integrity. It's just disappointing. And they are just flaunting the fact, oh, by the way, we have all this stuff. Woo! Yeah! We're rich! We have this big thing that you all want. You can all go to hell.
Alward will tell you for hours on end just how terrible you are. That could have been a perfectly decent hill. Right, Alward?
Yeah, might have been plains before that.
Where else is the rich going to do with their money? It's going on.
Looks around to the poor. Maybe not be shit people?
Hey, they have the same opportunities that the rich.
No, they didn't. They really didn't. Don't even try and pull that bullshit.
You're in rare mood, Lord.
Yeah, don't get me started on what I had to do when I got to this town.
Like what, Hogan?
Oh, that's a tale for another day, I think. But it's nice to say that...
Nothing good for children, that's for sure.
Right. Barbarian and druid say, and I put this in quotes, riches are not something you can buy beans with around here.
Well, you just gotta get with the class, I tell you. I wouldn't have a problem.
No, the other side of it is you'd be, once I figured it out, it took me a minute, but you'd be surprised just how useful someone, or useful a mending cantrip is.
I take it you used your abilities to lighten your load?
Well, let's just say not having to replace something can be worth a fair bit of cash. And once I had that figured out, then things were a lot easier, and I could at least get by and get into the college and do what I needed to do to live. Prior to that, the lift and carry squad doesn't make a lot of dough.
As you guys are discussing economics, Both Guy's going to pull out a sheet of vellum, and she's going to point towards the tower in the center of the city, and say, "I'm to bring this, or the prisoner to Supreme Light Glacius."
You know where that is?
Yeah, she laughs, pointing at the tower, and says, shouldn't be too hard to find out who's ever in charge here. And she's gonna look at the party moving her horses and Griffin and carriage forward and say, so is this where our paths part?
Well,
I
if
was
you want
actually
a
just
local
about to
guide,
ask if you wanted an escort.
I think we should.
Boskai is going to say, the sooner I'm done with my official business, the sooner we can revel tonight in a hunt well completed.
half completed.
That didn't answer the question. Would you like us to accompany you?
Yeah, she's going to shake her hand and say, no, I'll be perfectly fine here. Besides, there's some things that I've been wanting to at least get some information on that I'm sure they'll have, or that the Supreme Light can provide.
No problem. Suit yourself, I guess.
Before we part, though, can I talk with you privately?
And she'll say this, and she'll say, as private as you can get in this city, almost being, shoved out of the way by a passing cart of, I don't know, what is that, fish? Smells bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and just join her in her carriage.
The carriage is, it's barred. It is not something people can ride in. The elves are on it, but there's the prisoners inside of it.
Oh, where is she then? I thought she's in the carriage.
Yeah, she's leading it. She's leading the horses. She's on the ground walking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So it's a prison carriage. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna go up to her and said, "I made you something."
Okay. She's gonna like rub her hands together with a little bit of excitement and say,
And I'm going to present to her the picture that I made.
Okay, and it was pretty good, right? Practice rolled
Yeah.
like a 21 on it?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah, I remember. It was like a pretty, it was pretty stellar picture. And, like, as you like, present the picture to her, she's gonna look at it, and, she's gonna begin, like, blushing a little bit at, like, how good of a representation this is.
I didn't feel like it caught your beauty, but it did a good enough job with the materials that I had.
And she is going to say, you had some time to study me. I'd love to repay the favor. I do art of my own in the practices of Rion, but it's with wood, and I need more time to study you than just a few passing moments.
I would be honored. Now tell me, when you finish your business, where are you going to be staying? Maybe I can come and stop by after your business.
There's a place where everyone knows your name.
Cheers.
No. It's the Singing Ghost Tavern. Let me look up real quick.
Is it an average
But
tavern?
the Bloodhound Gang plays in the background.
No, it's actually a it's actually a pretty nice place. And she's going to say, with my limited knowledge of this place, I'm going to be staying in Honor's Reach. I hear one of the nicer places over there is the Singing Ghost Tavern. If I'm not accommodated there, then I'll seek stay in the Queen's Court for my time here.
Well, I hope you are. Should we make room for you? while you take care of your business?
Yeah.
I'm sure Teak wouldn't mind helping out.
She's going to.
I'm volunteering you there, Teak. Hush.
She's gonna nod and say,
very well.
"Don't you have business at the university?"
Ogun does. I myself don't necessarily have to be there.
Yeah, and she's going to nod and say, "Well, it honors reaches right on your path through the city walls." And you know what? She'll clap a hand on Fractus's shoulder, moving it slowly down his arm, and say, if you could just pay for our first night there, that would be wonderful.
Fractus,
gold.
Fractus is actually going to do it. Say, we can arrange that.
All right. One of her elven rangers on top of the carriage just kind of shakes her head at you. Just. However, with nothing else, Boska.
I flash her a sly grin.
Bosky is not going to. I don't feel like there's any greeting in Rion that she'd owe you guys as far as like traditional culture would demand. I think she's just gonna like wait around for a second as she gets ready to leave, and like nobody officially. Oh, is Fractus saying something?
Well, Fractus will do a elven until we meet again type response to her, and as traditional as he knows.
Okay, yeah, and it looked like she was waiting for some sort of formal goodbye of like acknowledgement of her station or something, and then it like when she doesn't get it, just gonna nod, big smile growing on her face, and then grabbing the lead to the horses and walking them towards the center of the city.
As soon as she's out of earshot, Practice is gonna go, whew! Mm-hmm. That girl can move mountains. Am I right, Ogun?
Mountains, you say? I don't know. Only if that mountain is about this big and he's holding his fingers up maybe an inch apart and residing in your pants.
I don't know. She sure made my forest grow.
Like I said, this big, residing in your pants.
You theorize that, stuff can't grow if it's not there in the first place.
Practice is going to look at Howard with this eye. The stink eye.
Yeah, that's the eye of, I'm going to pee on your head next time I see you sleeping.
Howard is just looking with the usual expression of disgust and discomfort at being in a city.
Don't worry, Howard. If we go hang out at the university, it's at least on the edge of the city.
Ogun can show you his animal of it.
Fractus turns to him and says, okay, so we have business at the university. I'm going to try and get us rooms at that inn that Bosky recommended, as well as try and find some information about the city and about who we can contact to get us to Elena.
Oh, okay, hang on a sec.
Time out of character.
What do you need?
Time out of character. Do we know that she's in Galkin?
Elena? You have an idea that she is. That's
Okay.
the other Earthfire is underneath the ocean. It is in a body of water called the Warm Water Straits. Be pretty hard to steal it.
The next one that's on land.
Okay. So, I'm gonna see if we can talk to people about getting some provisions and stuff and the lay of the land in Galkin. I'm sure the seaport has some rough and tumble sailors from that area.
Well, I actually had a couple of things I want myself. One of them, food. Correct.
Breaking up real badly.
Yeah, you could you say that again? I heard there's some things I wanted to do for myself, and then you broke up a lot from there.
Sorry. So there's a few things that I want to do myself, and most of them will probably end up helping with that kind of tagline practice.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it shouldn't take me all of the time there.
Well, Ogun, you have those stones, right?
Yeah. You want to stay in touch?
That'll be the best way to keep in touch if something happens.
Okay. Well, here's one.
Skari from a different city across the Lona guy says, "Oh, Fractus would love to keep in touch with Bosca." No, I'm kidding.
I would, but I gave my point.
I would cry a tear of, oh, no more Skari.
All right, so party splitting up. Party's heading to the university, and then the other part of the party is heading to the Ghost Tavern, or the Singing Ghost Tavern.
Yeah.
Oh, before they go, is that, by Ogun's knowledge, a good place to go, or are there better options?
How about you give me a history check?
Will do. 19.
Fractus is going to give Ogun 100 gold in case he has expenses.
Okay. Yeah. So, what you are going to know about the Singing Ghost Tavern? Out of the many places inside of Honor's Reach, and Honor's Reach, by the way, is kind of where it's kind of like the foreign district of town, of where they push all immigrants who choose to live here, and then people like passing through normally end up staying on this side of town, just because of its proximity to other things. But anyways, that said, as far as like what you know about the Singing Ghost Tavern, you are going to know it is a within Honor's Reach. It is a very, very nice place. It is the place. It is the place where it's kind of like a meeting of classes, as far as the nicer upper class people who come into this part of town stay here. But there, obviously reasons why they're here, and the lower class people who come in who work for them and are employed and get, the jobs and are like the contacts of why they're here, also come into this place. So, I mean, on your experience, you've known that there has been a group of shady people like at the establishment, and that's just generally normal to like see people gambling or people that are heavily armed. But the establishment itself is very, very nice.
Okay. Alright, that sounds like a good choice for them then, most likely, as far as getting information and a decent place to stay. If he knows any, like, by the way, look for the guys in the red hoods or something like that to, find the shady people, then he'll mention that to practice, but that's it.
Okay.
Practice nods and says, I have a way of finding trouble. You know me, Hogan.
I figured you would. Just shorten your path a little.
Here's 100 gold in case you need to bribe someone or spend it for expenditures.
Okay, did you just give me another 100?
No, just 800.
Okay, because you already said that.
Well, I
Where's the
did,
100
but
for
I meant
expenses?
that out of game more.
Okay.
Now
understood.
this is in game. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so which part of the party... Let's handle the other part of the party since Fractus has been doing a little bit of talking. At the university, you guys have never been here before as far as, like, in character. So the university, for the reference picture I have, or the inspiration picture I have, it would kind of be like this section of town right here. And the university itself is on the outside of the city wall, and it is several different wards and districts onto itself. It's almost like a small town over here. Stepping through the city gates, and well, actually, I need to roll if anything interesting is happening here. Cool. Stepping through the city gates, you guys are going to be at the first ward of the university that is nearest you guys is the Windar ward, which is it houses the tavern that foreigners come and stay at, and visitors of the university come and stay at. Connected to the city wall, there is a huge tower overlooking the rest of the university. Ogun would know that is called that's called Heroes Tower. That is Winrona's personal. That is her personal home and residence, along with her daughter. They are the only two people who live inside of that tower. The rest of it is offices and storage. The Baleson Sanctum is also a large, open, almost theater-like building within the Windar ward. Stepping onto the campus, Ogun is going to know the Baleson Sanctum is where the university's large teleportation circle is inscribed on. So people teleporting in and out of the university often come through that building. And then, yeah, there's a couple other buildings that you guys aren't entirely familiar with. I'm gonna allow you guys to roleplay for a second. And yeah, I'll message Wesley.
Okay. As soon as Ogun hits the front gate or whatever, like the entry into the university area, he's kind of dropping into sort of tour guide mode and pointing out, like, this is this thing and this is that thing. And
did Teak go with Ogun, or did he go with Practice?
I'm assuming Teak's with Ogun.
One time, stuff like that.
Okay.
But as far as pathway goes, he's moving as quickly as possible, or moving directly toward Dila Winrona's office.
Okay. And you know what? Yeah, I'm not even going to type this to Wesley, because as I was typing it, I was just like, hey, here's a good option to introduce. Wesley, are you there? Wesley's dead.
Damn.
Rip.
We had an arcane caster for like 5.
Yeah, if you are talking, Wesley, your mic is muted. That's fine. I wanted to do this scene right here, but it will happen later. Alright. Yeah, going into Dila's office. Or going into the Heroes Tower and moving up it. Let's see if you guys are going to have any resistance. Okay. As you move to step in the office, or as you move to step into the tower, there are going to be some Kalkin members down here. Oh, Ogin's going to know these people. Alice. Alice Nonolia and Simon Solis. They are two of the Kalkin members that have been stationed at the university. They are on very, very good terms with them, and Dila gives them free reign to walk about the university. They are also two of her personal bodyguards, as she has like such an established relationship with Simon and Alice. They're going to be guarding the entranceway. These two paladins are going to be guarding the entranceway to the tower, and as they as you come approaching, Simon's going to be the first one to speak up and say, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Professor Three Strikes?"
Simon.
He's going to nod and say, it's been a while. When we heard you went to Ardor, we thought you got swept up in the Civil War there.
No, war is not for me. I'm still hunting. Elena caused all manner of troubles. I don't know how much you have heard, but it's bad.
His expression's going to thin a little as he says, "So, she's really alive?"
Yeah, as far as I can tell. I have not seen her with my own eyes in a while, but judging by what's been going on lately with the earth fires, yes, she is still there. Or she's still out and free. According to, well, her Lieutenant Terrorcry is no more among the living. So at least that's a step in the right direction. But my hunt continues. And I think Dila should probably be updated on that. Because I believe now, or very soon, I will have the means to deal with that problem very directly.
Alice is going to cut in and say, she's going to cut in and say, she should have never been exiled. Should have been killed on the spot. Second she invaded this tower.
Well, maybe not killed, but definitely put someplace where she couldn't harm anyone else. Exile was maybe justifiable at the time. Now, I'm aiming for dead. I'll consider capture.
Simon's going to chip in just a little bit quieter and say news has been circulating that she's back. Confirmed it. Heard her talking to a group of her advisors about it a few weeks ago. Her and quite a few other people, but Olivus caught wind of it. He's going to shake his head and say her old mentor hasn't been taking it too well. He's been hitting the bottles lately.
Understandable.
And he says, anyways...
We can get her out of her cups to help her set right what's been done wrong.
Yeah, he's going to shake his head and say, anyways, Dila's not seen anybody unless summoned.
Okay. How do I get me a summon?
They're gonna look at each other and say, wait. Alice is gonna say, there's been a murder at the university. Spies, everything else, and till the investigation's over, things are gonna be tighter around here.
Okay. How mad would you say y'all would be if I weaseled my way in through a chimney or window?
Let's do a morality check on both of these guys, Simon and Alice. And is Teak just swinging the Morning Star? Oh, okay, cool. I was just like, well, if that's the way you guys want to go, that's that's fine. Just let me know. Anyways, yeah, both Simon and Alice are going to say, Simon's going to say, look, we know you've taught here for some time, and you'd be good, but all these people you brought back with you, looking at gesturing towards Teak. Teak is obviously a foreigner, wearing, a holy symbol of the Four Ascended. And I don't... Practice isn't with you. Alward wouldn't have any defining features other than the bear following him. And Soulmane isn't with you either. I'm missing a member of your party. Oh yeah, because we haven't introduced Wesley yet.
They're good and honorable folk and have proven themselves effective and loyal in combat.
You know what? I'm going to take over Wesley's character because he's AFK.
For shame.
Yeah.
Oh, AFK?
Oh, you haven't? Where were you when I was talking to you, Wesley?
Oh, I was here.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, we're in a scene switch real quick. You remember what I told you about Tobias's quest here forever ago. Tobias has been training a new member of the Empress's court. The one that he helped rescue, Sona Tolls. And ever since Olivia has returned to the world, Olivia, the Empress of the Darkened Vale, has been sending diplomats out to each nation asking for assistance to organize a force to go after and destroy her before she can, destroy or shatter any nations like she's done in the past. With that, Tobias has been the contact at the university, him and Sona, and has been meeting with Dila almost regularly, just saying like, hey, can we get aid on this matter? Can we get aid on this matter? Obviously Dila doesn't have anybody to spare, and it's like, look, you came yesterday, I'm sorry, I can't. You came today, I'm sorry, I can't. But, still you're welcome here. That said, Tobias and his trainee are going to be walking by the party as they are talking to Simon and Alice. As both you and Sona walk by, both Simon and Alice are going to step aside and bow courtly to each of you as you enter the tower. And then again, go back to talking to Ogun and say, the people with you the people with you, we don't recognize them, and obviously we'd be okay sending you to speak with Dila, but the lot of them couldn't enter the tower.
Understood. Looks at Teak and company and says, if you go back down this hall, out the doors, take a right, and then 2 buildings down, there's a canteen place. You can get some food and things like that if you don't mind waiting a little while. looks back at Simon. All right, show me in.
Simon's going to look to Alice, and she's going to shrug and say, "It's been a slow morning. I'll watch the door." Opening the double doors of the tower, moving in behind Sona and Tobias. Sona is... you guys are probably going to be about... Let's roll a die. 6 plus 4 plus 1. You guys are probably going to... You guys are going to be about 12 feet behind them as they're walking ahead of you in this chamber. Sona is going to have a hushed conversation with Tobias. She does not do very well in her stealth check. It is a 5. And whispering to him is she's, as you guys are walking up this tower, she's going to say, Master Graymus, I understand the necessary resources Headmistress Winrona has. Perhaps if we offer to relieve her of some of the aids of the problems ailing her, if we can solve her problems, she can lend aid towards ours.
Not a bad idea, Miss Holmes, but we need to be careful of what we get ourselves involved into. We must remember why we're here. Sometimes all it takes is a little patience, but do keep an ear out. I'm sure the opportunity will present itself here shortly.
And Sona, comes from a family of smugglers and criminals. And she's going to suggest and just say, my father said the best way to get help on your side is make them indebted to you.
Well, problem is, that Ilderon responds, how should I put it? It's a gamble. Sometimes people will take you for granted. And we just need to be a little more careful with what's at stake. Everything being as tumultuous as it is at this time. Just give it a little more time. I'm sure you'll see what I'm talking about.
She's gonna nod and continue and say, this Olivia, though, I read the stories about her shattering nations and stuff. I just question our Empress, if we should really be here groveling instead of out hunting her.
Well, we're not groveling. We're securing aid. It's not something we can do by ourselves. It's not something we should attempt by ourselves. It is frustrating, I understand, having to operate by other people's schedules, but it is necessary. It's a necessary skill to learn. Patience. Often overlooked.
She's gonna nod and say, I just sometimes miss the traditions of Ardor. As a noble head of family, when my father called on allies, he didn't ask. He summoned and they came. Just be nice if you could do the same.
Indeed, your father enjoys a position of authority here. We're not afforded that luxury. We have to ask. And in time, once we have what we need, I promise you things will become things will move along as quickly as you could wish.
Oh, Tobias's passive perception. Let's take a look at that. 16. It's good. Okay. Oh god, and he's got a 5 appearance. I always forget about that.
That's why he's wearing the mask.
Yeah. So walking behind Tobias, Simon's gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That passive perception should be 21, not 16.
Okay. Go ahead and update it. Simon and Tobias is gonna hear this. Simon's gonna slow his walk down as he leans over to whisper to Ogun and say, makes me so uncomfortable. She keeps entertaining these dead emissaries. They should be confined to the Anelia ward, just like everyone else.
It's her prerogative to entertain who she wishes. However, it sounds like they may have some legitimate need, and who else do you recommend that she talk to, or that they talk to about it? It's the folly of the rich to sit on your pile of resources and not make any good of them. Especially when the world is threatening to
I exist again.
out from underneath you at any moment.
He's gonna shrug and say, if the rest of the world burns, the Kalkin will see to it Cedal doesn't.
Well, call me altruistic, but I'd like to see not the rest of the world burn. I have a few select spots I would like to just all the way to the ground. Nothing but ash. But they're small.
Out of character, Brandon. The Kalkin was who? That's been I remember the name, but I can't remember who.
They are basically magic police. They hunt down rogue magic users and bring them to justice. Those were the people Makana worked for.
Okay.
They tolerate magic, but they really don't like anyone who uses magic. But basically, their presence here at the university is to make sure, studies and research projects don't go insane mad scientists, essentially.
Okay, that's Makana's group. Okay.
Yeah. They are holistically opposed to someplace like the university even existing, but, are sated in that, they have a seat at the negotiating and governing table within the university. So it's like, this place is awful, but at least we're, at the, if anything, definitely shouldn't be going down, we definitely know about it rather than it happening, behind our backs.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not going to respond, but he will make a mental note of what he's heard.
The Darkened Veil remembers.
Yeah. A little text inside the screen. Greatness will remember that.
And Sona heard that, and she's looking back, and Tobias sees she's really about to say something. Does he try and stop her?
She's Terai like he is, correct?
Yeah, not in the same fashion though. She had her soul stolen and eaten by by somebody else.
Okay, what do Terai have their own language, or do they adopt, or do they just?
They knew the languages. Yeah, they knew in life.
Okay, what other languages does Sona speak that he knows of?
Why does she know so many languages? You would know, let's see. I'm gonna click your, thing. just see all the languages, you know. You would know you both share Common and Draconic.
He's going to...
She knows Abyssal and Infernal, but I don't know why she knows that. It was something to do with Group 3's campaign.
Yeah. He's going to say Draconic, don't draw their attention, let the fools think what they wish.
Yeah, and she'll respond in Draconic too, and say she's gonna say had my soul stolen, but I don't feel very dead.
You're not. It's one of the Calconites. Don't listen. The less mind you pay them, the better. They're outdated and their time is coming anyway.
Yeah.
Last I heard that.
Oh, go ahead.
Last I heard, their leader was in prison somewhere. Can't keep track of all the troglodytes running around these days with their flaunted titles.
And Sona's like gonna and you know, Ogun saw this, like the young emissary. He sees this young emissary like looking back, angered expression at Simon, and then she just like smiles and keeps walking. Eventually, you guys are going to get to the stairwell and ascend towards Dila's. Well, you know what? She would be in her residence. She wouldn't be in her office right now. There's no need to have this huge, overblown meeting. As you guys knock on, or actually, as you guys arrive at her chambers, it is overlooking the south side of the city, overlooking Honor's Reach. Dila's whole upper chamber up here is there are about 8 different statues dotted around her room, and there wouldn't be a bed in the middle here. There would be a elevated central platform with some cushion seats, or small circular cushions on it, because she only has to trance to sleep. And then the walls would be decorated with different pieces of living floral art above each of these statues, and just the open balcony looking towards the south side of town. She's got a stack of books on the dais around her elevated platform, about 3 stacks of them. And looking at the door is open as you guys step through the hallway, and she's got one open, and let me pull up her thing. And she doesn't pay you much of any attention. She glances up at this at you, and she's going to say, and by the way, this is the first time Dila's being shown for this group. She is a high elven with moonwhite. She is a high elf with moonwhite hair. Everybody in the world is aware that she is 3,000 years old, and she looks like she's 30. At most, habitually smiling and dressed in traditional Ililnagian garbs, blue, white, and gold. Blue, white, and gold dress that it would be an insult to dresses to call these strings of fabric a garment. Anyways, she is going to... and she's got much more spells than she used to have. She's not going to look up from her book, and she's going to say, Master Greymus, welcome back. I assume we can make this quick today. What new requests do you have of me?
Much of the same. I was hoping, basically, touching again on what we were discussing yesterday. That being said, I feel it may be prudent if I give where you have more guests, new faces coming in today that might be better worth your time.
Yeah, looking
So-
up, she's going to see standing behind you is Simon and Ogun. And she's going to say to you, and say, as I said before, Livia's not working alone. The people with her, they're small in numbers, but they're elite, well trained. An army's going to do nothing to stop them, and trying to build an allegiance of nations is going to waste our time. And she's going to look at Ogun and say, Professor Three Strikes, welcome back to the university. And
Twin Rona, thank you for your welcome. I'm probably not going to be here long, though. My hunt continues for Elena.
And how aware was she of your task when you left? And she's going to. Oh, you know what? She was missing when you left, by the way. So yeah.
Oh, he probably left her a note, though.
Yeah. Would just know the entire zoology department's gone. Class is canceled.
Yeah. Well, no, we probably have TAs or something like that.
Yeah.
That are taking down the fort and being kind of desperate about it, but.
And she's going to. I rolled a history check of if she remembered why you left, and she's going to gesture to Tobias and say, "See, many of my while the university does have a vast resource of people that call our wards their home, many of my arcanists roam the world, questing after their greatest pursuits and their life's ambitions."
Trying to keep the world from ending.
Yeah, and, well, she doesn't say that, and she's going to say, and to call them away from such a task isn't something I can do by the Flamewalker's principles. And she's going to look to Ogun and say, your hunt was, because you didn't, you said the hunt continues, and she's going to say, your hunt was for some new creature for you guys to study down in the, well, I feel like it's characteristic that she'd forget where where the zoology department was located. The Northern Commons?
No, I think you may be thinking of Caliestus's quest. She was in Northhold Mountains pursuing studies of a frost. What was that creature? She found the eggs. She was very excited and was unable to come help me with my own task. And in looking for certain creatures, I learned about this threat to the Earthfires and have been pursuing that ever since.
I'm sorry, threat to the Earthfires?
Yes.
This is true?
4. Now there are 2. Do you not consider this a threat?
I thought they were rumors.
No. They are very real. Many have paid their lives trying to stop this. So far we have been unsuccessful. Others have paid their lives at my own teeth and blade to try to stop me from ending that threat. So, yes, it is real.
So I'm to understand that 2 of the 4 Earthfires are
taken.
Gone? Taken. Hey Brandon.
Yes.
Would I be able to roll a check of some kind to kind of figure out what the implications of that might be? He was never really involved with Elena.
Yeah. Go ahead and either and you're trying to figure out what the missing Earthfires could cause for the world.
Yeah, what that implies, or the potential of.
Okay.
What that could be.
So if there are religious sites. I will allow you to either roll a religion check of just like what historical significance do they have, and them missing what impact that could cause, or an Arcana check of just like the studies that you know about their energies and their magic, and potentially like what it could be used for, or why people could be targeting it.
Well, I have a. Seems like both of these are the same. Do I have advantage or disadvantage on any of those for anything that he's dealt with in the past? Perhaps.
No, but I'm putting the you're going to learn information regardless, but the tiers of information you learn are going to be, along the easy, normal, hard, very hard, and nearly impossible.
Alright, let's get that one, boys.
Nat 1! Okay, are you going with religion or arcana?
The boat. I'm gonna go with, since they're religious. So actually, no, I'm gonna go with arcana on that one. The arcane implications of what that could mean. But both the score for both is the same.
Okay. Alright, so the arcane implications of a missing Earthfire. Wow. That is probably, it's no secret that it went missing inside of Ardor, but at this point it was just like rumors carried towards here. That is the weirdest thing you've heard, because while the Earthfires historically have been huge, powerful wells of magical energy, at one point or another, each and every one of them was destroyed, and they turned back on when Ascended Gods started appearing in Ardor Serai. But when they turned back on, nobody could use them. Like, their magics were kind of locked. And so they were there, but their fires and things, they weren't batteries. They weren't like nuclear power plants. They were just kind of like light shows and forges. So the fact that somebody took an entire one, these things have like basically been like dormant. I guess it would be like a nuclear reactor without any way of turning it on, or no enriched uranium to start the process of just like, it's very weird somebody would steal one when these things have been sitting here for, the earliest one 1,000 years being nearly useless, and the most recent one being 250 years of nearly uselessness.
Would it be reasonable for him to think that maybe somebody has the ability to restart them, and that's why they're taking it? Do you think that would be a reasonable assumption for him to make?
Yeah, and you can come to the conclusion that these things, like, before it was kind of just like a jab at of just like, when it went missing in Ardor, it's like an important religious site for Ardorians, but not so much Ililnagians. So it didn't really matter. It was kind of just like, they put so much revenants in it and now it's gone. They believe in false gods anyways. But if it's a systematic thing, you can surmise that maybe somebody knows something the rest of the world doesn't.
And that, if nothing else, they're enormous wells of energy that could potentially be used for something.
Yes.
Okay. He's going to kind of mull on that for a second and kind of turn back to Ogun and say, what about the other two?
Jeff, did you hear that?
No, sorry, repeat it.
He asked, what about the other two?
The other two, as far as I know, are currently intact. But I consider them to be under threat because the ones that were taken, or the people who took them, are still at large.
Do you have any idea what they intend to do with these Earthfires?
Theories abound, but an ascension to godhood or something like that is my best guess, considering their general disregard for the freedom of other entities and things like that. I think that is a likely assumption.
That is disturbing.
Headmistress Ilderon knew her better and may have some better guesses, but I think we can all agree that this probably needs to be stopped.
She is... she's going to nod and say, it is concerning that they're going missing, but I know the man behind all of this. The Milanthagar, Jimprius Mari. He would never aspire... she would shake her head and say, would never aspire to turn himself into a god. I've known him for 3,000 years and we hate each other to the very core of our existence, but the fact is I know him. And he I. And he me, and he knows me. And she's gonna like ponder on this for a moment and then say, your account of what happened at the Southern Earthfire, were you present?
Unfortunately, no. We were slowed down. The one who did that paid the price, but we were not able to get there in time. The fighting was done by the time I arrived.
She nods and says, I was kidnapped by their circle. Dethan, Elena, Olivia, Jimprius, an Ardorian knight, and a Sarai who could command shadows like water. Was it any of these?
As I understand it, Elena was one of them, and there was a probably more powerful caster also present. And I don't know the identity of that one.
She is going to nod and say the Dethan that travels with them is to keep us at bay. As long as he is. Again, it's a matter that we can't handle in an open attack.
Well,
Again.
I think I've been doing pretty good with open attack so far. I just need to get my teeth on the right target.
You killed the Dethan.
Oh, that one. Oh, Dethan. He's dead. We killed him. He won't be a problem anymore.
And she's going to look up from her book at that and say, really?
Oh.
Who is we?
I and the party of folks that have been hunting him. I ran into a paladin, part of the Unsworn, or sorry, wait a minute, sworn. Unrepentant. I ran into a couple of the Unrepentant, and they were pulling some folks out of prison that were used to be working for her in order to get back, get some information. One thing led to another, and we have become a quite potent group. Goals have aligned. I've been traveling with them.
She's gonna move her books aside and pull out a sheet of parchment and start writing on it and say, in the situation that this occurred under.
He runs the whole thing down from the prison and then kind of compresses the rest.
Okay. And after you finish your story, Dila has given you a letter with her signature on it, and she's going to say, you don't have a blue contract to kill, but given the situation, I understand it. If any of the queen's risen, try to harass you over the matter. This should clear you of any crimes. She's going to look at Tobias and say, this changes everything. Right now they're vulnerable.
Quite so.
And she's going to say, I'll tell you what. It was Elena who allowed them to bind me in such a way. If your Empress could aid in hunting down my rogue Arcanist, bring her back to me in chains. Any resource I have, I'll lend to her in hunting down Olivia.
By the Arcanist, you mean which one? The one responsible for stealing the Earthfires, you mean?
She is going to nod and say, when they kidnapped me, the magics that Elena had learned here from my own personal study was what she used against me to create. And she's going to gesture her hand and say, it's not important. It was weeks ago. I'm free now.
I mean, it sounds important. I feel like the two sources of arcane energy as large as these Earthfires going missing is more than enough cause to put my own concerns aside for the time being. I'll send a letter back to the Empress telling her what's going on, and I would be glad to help. My question is, you want us to bring her back, but given those circumstances, I don't know, I'm not sure how much of a guarantee I can give you as to her condition once she's returned.
Dilo is going to say, if she falls, she falls, be that as it may.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, and she's gonna say, but her mind was shaped in these halls and this university. If there's any place that deserves to determine her fate, it's amongst her peers.
He's going to turn to Ogun, but I'm assuming you have need of a moderately accomplished Arcanist.
I would say everyone needs a moderately accomplished Arcanist, but everyone could use one. Always helpful. Are you willing to follow me into the fire and terrible things that are about to happen?
I may not.
Water is more likely than fire, but that depends on whether or not we finish them off before they get to the last one.
I've seen a few things. I'm older than I look. I've been around the continent a couple of times. I'm sure I could cope.
Well, in this endeavor, we need success.
I wouldn't be bothered with anything less.
Good. As long as you'll be loyal and strive for success, then we will together, I suppose. You should meet the reward, though. So, Ela, if you have any suggestions, tips, something that will help us bring her in. I have a plan, but it's a simple scrying and teleportation idea.
Scrying and teleportation. What religion does Ogun follow?
He doesn't really, just nature.
Okay. And what religion does Tobias follow?
Oh. Brandon, the only thing I remember is like the all-seeing eye or something. Is that
the Eternal Eye.
Yeah, the Eternal Eye.
That's a religion of the Darkened Veil. Okay. And Dila, you guys are going to see she is contemplating something for a moment, going back and forth on it before standing up and saying well, there's not much I can offer now. But I can give you a sending stone to directly contact me. Should the moment require it, and I'm able to, you'll have my moment you'll have my help if the moment calls for it.
That would be excellent, thank you.
And she's going to get up and start and walk out of the room. Just gonna go to you guys don't have to follow her, but she'll come back in a few minutes with a small box and the two flattened pale stones inside of it. She takes one out and hands it towards Ogun and says, before I meditate for the evening, I will hold it on my person.
Thank you.
And she nods. And that's and you know what? This is in her character. And she'll remind you, it's like, that's an evening in Sky's Reach. If your chase leads you to a different part of the world, please remember how the sun travels.
Understood. Honestly, though, at the point that I think you are needed is probably one of those that might be worth waking up for.
Well, if she's not touching the stone, I don't think she can receive a sending from you.
Oh, okay.
It's not just like, somebody who has like a dozen of these things out with different people is just holding a dozen stones all the time.
It's just like a necklace.
Well, what is it? Well, this is my
way to go.
Yeah, this is my stone for, the leader of this nation, this nation, this nation, this nation, this nation. This is my friend, this is my daughter, this is my daughter's girlfriend. Yeah, this is this one adventuring group I met 200 years ago. They might be alive, I don't know. This is,
I'm so busy.
Yeah, you have added...
So popular and hot for being 3,000 years old.
You have added a Tobias to your party. As you guys are leaving, Sona is going to speak up and say, Master Greymiss, I can get a teleportation circle back to the Vale and deliver the news on your behalf.
If you will do tell them to I'm hoping we won't have to take action, but this is disturbing news. It's very disturbing news. I would like to see what kind of pull together short notice that might help us find these Earth files before they're misused. If you receive any word that might be useful, just send me a message.
Before you go, two things. One, Ogun looks back at Dila. I'll spend a little time trying to get the TAs squared away in the zoology department so they're not completely flapping around at loose ends. Thank you for your time.
She's gonna nod, looking pensive.
You have something else you need to ask?
You're asking her?
Yes.
You know what? And I'm just gonna give this to you because she rolled so horrifically on it, and she's gonna shake her head and say, "No, everything's fine." It more so looks like there was something else she wanted to ask of you that something that she's holding back on, and that's what a 8 on a deception check gets you.
Okay. He looks back at Tobias and says, "Go ahead up to the post where Alice is. I'll join you momentarily." And he steps back into Dila's quarters and closes the door.
Ogun's getting a side chick.
There could be worse ones for him to get.
Well, age and weight are just numbers until you try to pick them up, but damn.
I mean, Dila's a mom. How's Ogun gonna take to fatherhood?
He'll be fine.
I'm kidding.
Her daughter's hot too.
Anyways.
What's Ogun saying? Is this where he pulls out the dagger and says, "Everything I do for Ardor"?
No.
For the watch.
Not at all. Watch him get disintegrated in one hit. Yeah, no. I'm no communications professor, but I know when someone needs to say something. So this is a good opportunity. And unless you plan on having a conversation over a few days by sending stones, this is probably the best opportunity we're going to have for a while.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion, oh bugger. Not too shabby.
And she's going to speak up and say, "What do you know about the Given Wills?"
Given Wills. Okay, what does he know about the Given Wills?
You can know. Oh, okay.
There was
Heretic speak.
Okay, so
Heretic speak. It's the biggest religion in the world.
Yeah, well.
But it's
I
not
detect heresy.
I think Elena was using a teleportation
'Tis treason,
circle
then.
in the Temple of the Spoken Wills.
Yes.
And I know that's related to the Given Wills, but that's all I got right now off the top of my head. Personally, Ogun probably knows more. Religion check? Or history?
Go for it. I was going to say, you could say he knows everything on the... it would be a religion check. I'll allow history, though, and I'll, history will give you a different context of it, but yeah.
Alright, I'll throw history, 22.
22. You know the Given Wills are a sect of the Wills of Ililia. It was the primary religion of the world. The Given Wills spawned when the humans got into a huge war with a tribe of people they deemed subhuman. Rather than killing them, though, they exiled them, and in return for and a show of appreciation for their mercy, the elven goddess Amira granted the human nation a giant crystal monolith that refracts light and projects messages. Or people didn't know it did at first, but eventually over time it was found out that it did this. And these messages have been believed to be the direct speakings of the goddess Ililia to the world. And there's a sect of the Wills of Ililia that believe the messages from this monolith are the basically holy tenets and scriptures to live your life by. And they respect them even more than the spoken wills, which are spoken by the elven goddess Amiria.
Okay.
All of that said, you are going to know the Sun Yith is also a governing force. It is the biggest church of the Given Wills inside of the in the world, and it is a governing force and part of a Lil Nagai's bureaucracy. They are very open about their faith and their practices.
Okay. Well, he sums that up with saying, so, short version, the humans are racist, but at least slightly merciful in some cases. So the elves gave them a big crystal that sends messages. That spawned a whole religion and some bureaucracy that we have to deal with here in Ililnigai occasionally.
And she's going to nod and say the church always deals in the open. If they send crusades to your home, you know they're coming. If you wish to learn of their religion, you're welcome in their temples. Everything in the light. Before all of this, the Earth Fires, any of it started, they contacted me in secret. Something so strange, so arcane, so weird for our world happened. That they needed a mind such as mine to help understand it. And she's going to say, the things I'm going to tell you are prevalent to your quests, but aren't to be heard for other years.
Understood.
The gift, the monolith that the entire religion is based off of, and its 1,700 years of existence, it has always and only ever communicated in Sanskrit, projecting messages as weird geometric patterns and refracted light. This writing over time was deciphered and later discovered to be Sanskrit. Hunter, priestess, father. And she's going to say, 4 months ago, for the first time ever in the gift's history, it projected a message in common characters. Only one person saw it. When they relayed what it said to the priest in charge of the temple where the gift resides, they called me in, and they called Genprius in, as me, the prominent mind on arcane matters within our world, and Genprius, the prominent mind on religion. In secret, we were asked to help make sense of this. I couldn't solve what the mystery was. At least not fast enough. A week later, Genprius kidnapped me, locked me away in a cellar in Galkin. And I stayed there missing for 2 months. And she's going to say, whatever is causing all this, whatever he's found about the earth fires that is causing these events to go into motion, that he requires them, and has to be tied from what he learned from the gift.
So you're telling me that Jin Prius learned something from this crystal's message and started this whole Earthfire mess?
She's going to say, yes, we both learned it. Was a strange phrase. Simple in nature. It's the message that was projected, and common characters simply said, I never considered unraveling codes unlocked.
Considered unraveling codes unlocked. Wow.
She nods and... Oh, wait, what did Ogun say?
I never... He's just repeating the phrase back. I never considered unraveling codes unlocked.
And she's going to nod and say, whatever it means, why ever the goddess sent that message through the gift, she shakes her head and says, I didn't have time to investigate before he captured me. And whatever he learned from it, I haven't been able to decipher because his agents have been waiting to kidnap me the minute I step foot out of this university again.
Well, if you want to get out of the university and get free of this kidnapping situation, I think we can arrange something.
She's going to shake her head and says, no, be my eyes, be my hands in this situation. While their attention's focused on me, be the thief that steals from underneath them.
I didn't tell you the story of the last time I tried thievery. It was successful, but messy. Can do that another time, though. Very well.
She's gonna nod, and that's all the news, or that's all she has to share with you. Waiting in the hallway, Simon, Tobias, and Sona walk with you out of the tower.
Okay. Head back and go find the rest of the party.
All right. You are able to do so. I would like to get you guys together. Are you guys comfortable going for 40 more minutes? Because I want to do Soul Main and Fractus and then like the whole party together.
Sure.
All right. Soul Main and Fractus. You guys head to Honor's Reach, seemingly to book a tavern stay. Here we go. Close that. Wow, that's so weird. Seemingly to book a tavern stay. And a building falls on you guys. You're all dead.
Aww.
I have evasion.
You wouldn't let me skip for this?
No. Anyways, alright. So you guys book a you guys head to the Singing Ghost Tavern, and we can fast forward through a lot of this. Just because, one, I already described this place's environment to you. It is exactly like Ogun said. It is this beautiful place wedged and you guys are in the orange circle, by the way. As this beautiful place wedged between the streets of Honor's Reach. There are like 4 other just towering buildings built over this place and even extending over the sky place of it, or extending over the sky axis of it. Stepping into the building, it is 3 stories tall. It is a immaculately clean place, but this place is populated. It is almost filled to the brim with people. You see Risen members enjoying drinks and talking. You see merchants gambling. You see performers. Who's the performer at this place? At this rolled up. Oh, it's just a couple musicians playing, which is fine. And yeah, there are patrons who are all armed, and it's just like it's mostly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, this is a wonderful place. This is everybody's got a sword on their side.
They seem like friendly people.
Yeah. Do you guys just want to book a few rooms here?
Yeah. Fractus is gonna lean over to Soulmane and go, "This is a happening place. I like it here. Reminds me of home."
Same.
And then Fractus is gonna be like, "Yeah, watch that guy. He looks like he's going to do something shifty. You may want to steer clear of him."
It's really a mirror with Fractus in it. Alright. Heading, asking of the tavern keeper serving staff about stay here. It is a wealthy stay at 2 gold a person per night. They have enough rooms. They have enough rooms just to accommodate you guys. If you guys all squeeze into 3 rooms. That said, though, that is.
Owls will easily take the stable.
Yeah.
That said, it's 2 gold. It's 2 gold per person to stay here. That doesn't include the meals. The meals themselves are 4 gold each, as they say this is one of the finest dining establishments inside of Honor's Reach. The food is very overpriced.
So
2 gold per person?
2 gold per person, 6 gold for a meal. Meal and a stay.
So Fractus is going to ask about, like when you say for per person, or is this including Bosky or?
Yeah, so Bosky, her 2 guards, Soulmane, Ogun, Teak, Alward, nope, I counted Fractus and.
So we're talking about 52.
Tobias. Well, you don't know about Tobias. And yeah, I think that's it for you guys. Oh, and then I guess Kara. Kara wouldn't take. Kara could stay at the stables and would just need food.
Yeah, no, that'd be it. Just throw Kara in the stables. Out sleeps with Kara. All well and good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what Practice is going to plan, because you're going to do that anyways. But what Practice wants to do is give Bosky her own room if possible.
Oh, squeeze all of you guys into 2 rooms and give her 1 room? I mean, you can do it. They're your rooms you're paying for.
And there's no other additional rooms?
This place is practically full.
Practice is going to set 50 gold down on the table and say, is there any way to get us better accommodations?
Woo! Let me roll this person a morality die. they're gonna look over, and I mean, 50 gold, that's a lot to bend on. And, yeah, they're gonna say, there's and let's just scratch your head. It's like, there's a couple mercenaries who I suppose could find stays in the other reaches of town.
And practice.
Yeah, and then nod and like start taking the gold.
All right, Practice smiles and says, "Great." Then he's going to try and get Boskai her own room, and then share the he wants to get like 5 rooms if possible.
Okay.
Which basically would be the 2 for our 2 rooms, Boskai in her own room, and a room for her entourage.
Okay.
How much gold is that going to be? I have no idea.
So 50. You buy a additional.
The 50 is just a graph to get the rooms.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be 6.
Don't include
7.
meals yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's just gonna be 14 gold per people, then plus the 50 for the rooms.
Okay. And then so 14. How many people? I'm sorry.
I've got you at 7.
That's with her entourage too?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. 8. 16.
Okay, so 8 people total.
Yeah.
Okay. And you say it's 4 gold per meal?
Yes.
He is going to give them 128 gold for 2 meals.
Okay. Oh my gosh. And yeah, this person's just racking it in. That's why you open a tavern like this.
Give me a second, Brandon, while I actually subtract that from...
Okay. All right. While you subtract that, is there anything else you guys want to do here?
Here, no.
All hail the mighty pie.
Okay. Is there anything you guys want to do in this region of town before you head back to meet up with your party?
I probably want to gamble a bit with the merchants.
There'll be time for gambling tonight.
Well, that's true. Mm-hmm. It depends on Soulmane. He looks at Soulmane and asks him if Soulmane needs to... how much time he needs to take.
Probably. But... there's a tag.
You cut out. Anthony, can you repeat that?
I said not here right now, but there's a contact in town. Talk. Get a message back.
Okay, we can do that next.
Data going on.
Okay, I heard there is a contact on this side of town who you want to contact and update, get a message to, and update what's going on.
Yeah, to the my guild, let them know what's going on.
Okay. All right. Searching down Jalal's shop. Let me just see. I just need to look at her traits and everything. All right. Jalal's shop is or her psalm shop is going to be in this region because I remember Hapelri and Dralos went to this place. I don't remember exactly where I placed it, but it's somewhere in Honor's Reach, is why I have you guys just in that circle. So it's not too far from this tavern. And what is Fractus's passive perception? It's just been a hot second since I...
21.
21, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's insight. Passive insight. 26 is perception.
What? Okay, that's fine. Alright, so these, as you step in here, you're going to know that this place is magically warded with some sort of security that you are not aware of, like, what it is. However, once inside, the shelves of this place are going to be stacked high with just all the things you'd expect, a supplier of this sort of business to be in, like bees encased in amber, beeswax in jars, tree sap, roots, fresh roots, grind up them in bundles, tied, and baskets of different collection of like decaying green things, dry packages of like pressed large leaves on, hung on the wall. And the smell of this place is going to be potent too. Jaleel, it's been forever since I used this NPC. She is she's going to be washing off another set of herbs as you guys step in. And looking up at you, she's going to be aware of you guys coming in here before you even acknowledge her. And but as soon as you turn the corner, you're going to see a smile that she had on her face just kind of fade, and she's going to say, "Welcome. How can I help you out today?"
Where were you?
Say that again, Anthony. You cut out.
I said, sorry, were you expecting someone else?
And she's going to shake her head and say, expecting, no. Hoping for, yes.
Is there anyone else up?
That you can see? No.
Soulmate. Flash the pendant.
The fancy one or the regular one?
Gotta talk about this.
Anthony, you're still cutting out a lot for me.
Sorry, my mic is not cooperating right now.
Yeah, you gotta eat it.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. He's gonna flash the fancy pendant and go to her. I'm just here to talk a little bit.
You start off so well and then it just fades away. I'm just here to talk a little bit about...
A little business. You have a few minutes.
And... Ooh, she's going to... she's almost going to stand at a attention. Cleaning off her hands and standing up from her washing tub. And she's going to say, oh, yes, sir, of course, anything. I wasn't aware a new master had been appointed.
This is a recent transaction within the last year or so.
And she's going to say, for one of the millionth, of course, anything.
I just need a message sent out clan.
I need a message sent out, and then you cut out.
Alright, I'm putting this thing right against my lips.
Okay.
I need a message sent out to a clan. The Inyandar. Heard of them?
And she's gonna say, even if I haven't, for you it will be done.
If I could borrow some parchment and ink, I will write it out for you right away.
She grabs you one, the whole time avoiding making eye contact with you. You give her, write out a letter and just give it to her?
Basically, it's just a letter stating how everything is currently going, that I'm still alive. And if any new information on Elena's whereabouts or actions have popped through there, to get in contact with me as soon as possible.
And she's going to nod and say, Sir, if I could question your excellence, and your magnanimosity, who did you replace?
Where I were...
Fractance is going to cut in and say, that is none of your concern.
Roll me a deception check for practice. It's a little bit of her concern.
Deception, you said?
Yes.
Try 28.
Yeah, and she's gonna say, of course. It must have been gotten lost in my recent report. I just wasn't aware there was a new mill yet. I apologize.
I need to step away for a second, Brandon.
Okay.
It's not a problem. Just make sure this gets to where it needs to go. And I'm gonna lay down 15 gold for her.
Okay. And she's going to take it and nod the whole time, avoiding eye contact, and say, gosh, it's been forever since I've had to look up their greeting. You know what? I'm not going to look it up. I am just going to go with what I'm pretty sure it is, because I don't want to search it on my phone. And she's going to say, the shadows will be done as you leave.
Now that I'm out of there, I'm going to... Would it be a history check to try to remember... Or to try to... piece the title she gave out? 'Cause you actually didn't... I was never told of a title I was given with the pendant. I was just given a pendant.
It is, yeah, not... Well, you weren't even given a pendant. You were supposed to return it.
Yeah. Was that
yeah, but it is not a title you're aware of. You can roll a history check on it.
Other side. Oh well.
Yeah, 8, like, millionth? You've never heard that before. Alright, do you guys head back to the party?
Yeah, Shelby had to step away, but yeah, that would be my thing. That was pretty much what I needed to do is...
Alright.
The message.
Everybody is together in the Lucky Spell Inn inside of the Maphis University. And I will let you guys talk about what you've learned, your new party member, and then we'll end for the night. That said, hey, you guys have a new party member. There's somebody traveling with Ogun. He's wearing a mask, and he has... This is weird. Teak, looking at Tobias as they both wear masks.
Oh yeah.
Cousin.
I was gonna run by you a role play idea.
I'm back.
Okay, the party is together inside of the Lucky Spell Inn. It is the tavern Ogun said to meet at in the Maphis University. It is within the Windar ward. And the one thing you miss, Soulmane learned the name of the title of the members within the Ruby Shadow. It is Ameliath. He does not know what it means. That said, yeah, you guys are all together. There's a new member with Ogun. It is a strange, intimidating, fragile-looking man wearing a mask.
Cool. Another mask guy.
Yeah. Wow. Greetings. I have retained the services of a, as he says it, I believe, moderately capable arcanist.
Moderately accomplished, yes.
Moderately accomplished, yes.
No, it's
agreement on the situation with Elena, and he has sworn to follow us into fire and do what needs to be done.
I certainly agree to that. Yes, my name is Wise Greatness. I wanted to assist you in looking into the fire business.
Wesley, can you hit us with that again? You cut out. I heard my name's Tobias Malis, or Greatness.
Tobias Greatness, I have your associate has brought me up to speed on the Earthfire situation. And I would like to help however I can. Did y'all get that?
Yeah, I got all that.
Okay.
For once, you guys don't have any NPCs with you guys. So the stuff discussed here is all you. Which is weird.
Well, your mask can look into Teek's mask over here.
Practice is going to insight him.
What are you trying to discern?
Intently as Fractus.
Is he truthful and that he's wanting to going to go through the fire with us and help us?
Yeah, I've from everything you can tell, as far as like his body posture and stuff go, it seems so. But yeah, Fractus is going to pick up to, like, just as you study him, his mannerisms and everything are unnatural. So to the best of your ability, I'd say yes.
Having an Arcanist up against Lena probably will be very good in a little situation.
Well, I thought that was a bit of fighting magical fire with magical fire.
The more the merrier, as I always say.
Tobias, you seem different.
Well, thank you.
And not in the good way of different. I'm not sure.
Let's not offend our new member.
Well, that's what you pay me for, boss, is to ferret out spies and the like. I'm just making sure our guest is who he claims to be.
I am most certainly Tobias Graham is all I've claimed to be. I am an arcanist of some moderate capability.
Yeah, where are you from?
The Darkened Veil.
Hmm.
I'm one of its founding members, actually.
So you're a Terai.
I am, but not in the traditional sense.
I see.
What?
We would know about Terai because we have Umiya has a contingent down there, right?
She does. There is a small group of them that worship her. Very small.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the Terai. You have followers of Umiya down there, so I guess welcome aboard. Excuse my rudeness.
No. I would... As you're not in what I would consider compared to what I normally have to deal with. You understand?
I heard you're not rude compared to what I normally have to deal with.
Yeah, that's what I've said so far. You understand I've had a member of Calcan dogging at my heels for the past several weeks.
Speaking of which, guess who's stepping through the door?
I cast Gust and push him back out.
No, it's not Simon. It's Alice. Alice is going to be walking into the tavern, and she is going to say to Tobias, you know what? I feel like... Well, nope, she doesn't have any tact. She wouldn't pull you aside and have this conversation. And she's going to say, Simon informed me, Master Greymiss, that you were leaving the university. I just wanted to remind you to check out of the Enelian ward. From all measures and merits they have there, you've been within the country for 3 weeks. Only 1 week further before it's open season.
Open season?
Yes. Terai are only allowed to stay in the university for a month. Because if you stay there for longer than a month, it means you've killed somebody in order to survive. You're not allowed to feed while you're in Ilil Nagai. You're not allowed to be in Ilil Nagai, but you can be in the university. Basically, she said, if you stick around for too much longer, the Sun Yet's coming.
Simon was the guy from... Where's he from again?
Simon was the Calcan member that escorted whatchamajigger up, Ogun. Alice was his accomplice.
You can tell Simon that he can send whoever he likes. Just be sure he doesn't back too badly. I'll remind you that I may be Terai, but I'm an emissary of the Empress first. Is that understood?
And she's going to nod and say, just make sure and check out before you leave the university. It doesn't have to get ugly.
No, it doesn't.
She bows.
Hold on. I'm a professor here, and first, don't threaten Simon. 2, second, if you need to feed, make sure you get out of the country first. And third, if you're going to be like this, then I think you're going to understand me better if I say, if you betray me and mine, I will kill you.
Welcome to the Ogun School of Greetings.
Well, I'm glad this came out now. Look.
Oh, yeah. Now we understand each other.
And there's something else you need.
And if the blue band was still around, they could tell you that if I tell them I'm going to hunt you down, I mean it, and I am perfectly capable of doing it.
You won't have to hunt me anywhere. I don't.
Oh, good.
But I want to make some.
Don't worry about it. Now,
I want to make some.
Make sure you're out of town or out of the country in the next week. I'm sure we can find plenty of appropriate targets because
I'm not concerned with feeding. What I'm concerned with, I'm tired of these Calcan miscreants pretending like they can tell everybody. But My primary concern is dealing with these earth fires before it's used. The rest is... I've been around a while. I can handle myself feeding. I'm not tolerating these Calcan thugs any longer. If that offends you, I apologize. That's just the way it is.
If they operate within the bounds of law and such things, I'm inclined to kind of give them some leeway, but I prefer personal freedom. That said, let's get out of the country, okay?
The entire reason Darkendale exists, people like I agree. I won't miss leaving this country.
And just to be, since we're getting this all out in the open, I prefer if you're going to eat somebody, eat Ogun first.
He seems like the grisly sort. I prefer mine a bit more tender.
Teak breathes a sigh of relief and says, "Oh, so I'm good then."
Yeah, there's not a tender soul in this group. I think all of us should be pretty safe.
But he'll, what was her name? Amy?
Alice.
Alice. He'll wave at us and say, "Well, you have your message. There's nothing else."
She's gonna bow politely and turn and leave.
Good day. So then, earth fires.
So, the last time, I'm sorry, I'm a little stuck on this topic. The last time we had what I would have potentially assumed was tender pickings turned out to be a werewolf, so I don't know how good we're going to be doing in that department either. So, earth fires. So I need to hit one of the local places because I haven't actually stopped to pick up the helm that I was planning on getting. But at this point, I can do scrying. With the helm, I can do teleportation. So I think we can all get to wherever Elena is and end this problem.
I have access to both scrying and teleportation if they're needed. And since we're making introductions, I specialize in my school of study and mostly concern myself fighting other spellcasters. I am not as accomplished in wanton destruction as other mages claim, but I can at least promise that we'll have less to worry about as far as other enemy mages are concerned.
Oh, good.
I'm not what you call a war mage.
More than moderately accomplished, so you'll have your work cut out for you.
I'm not what you call a war mage.
Darn.
Yeah.
That's fine. I think we cause enough havoc for everybody.
Well, just I'll try not to cause more trouble than you than I can help.
Teak glances over to Fractus and Salman and says, "Trust me, I think they've got you beat on that front."
I mean, I can try harder if you like.
No, plenty of trouble to go around. Although I will say my helmet appears to be having some difficulty.
I don't know what you're talking about, boss. Trouble never finds me.
I haven't done anything in months.
Teak takes off her helmet and taps at it a couple of times. It tings normally, but seems to glow a little bit less than it used.
Teak, what'd you do to your hat?
I'm not sure. I think it's been behaving oddly since we fought that werewolf fellow. Yeah, the problem seems to have become worse and worse as time's gone on. I fear the enchantment might have been banged up in the landslide. I'm not even sure if that can happen.
Yeah.
She hands the helmet towards Grey Mist.
Tobias is gonna
Detect Arcana just to see what's going on with it.
Also, Tobias is gonna find his mask on.
Detect Magic, sorry.
On Teek's helmet?
No, he's gonna take his. And can I roll a Arcana check to see what's wrong
with Teek's helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
That one, boys. Oh shit.
0. No, I'm kidding. 26. Yeah, if anything, it's probably going to be something like, you were here as a player for the shield, but you weren't here as Tobias. But do you remember that magical shield you guys found forever ago when it had the piece of shrapnel wedged in it? That was magic items will repair themselves given time, unless something is actively stopping it from doing it. So yeah, just like looking over it, something's probably preventing like the mass from completely repairing itself. Maybe, a piece of stone or rock or metal wedged somewhere in it.
I'll see if I can
Could
find
cause that.
Okay, I'd like to debris. See if I can't see whatever's keeping this thing from stitching itself up.
What'd you say your passive perception was? Like 21?
My passive excuse me. Passive perception is 21. My passive investigation is 24.
You know what? Here we go. I'll just roll you a percentage die on it.
No, that's good.
Percentage dies are the best thing. Here we go. The ones that slowly get lost over time. Yeah, looking at this helmet, you're going to find there is a splinter probably over. I don't know if there's a fabric piece that connects it around the ear and behind the head, but like right where it attaches there, where it'd be pressed against like Teek's ear, there is something jabbed into it.
Okay. Can I remove it?
Yeah, you can go for it. Okay. Not with 7 strength. I'm kidding. You have I know you have the ogre gauntlets. You're able to take it out.
Ah, there we go. Try that.
Teek will put the helmet on.
It explodes. No. Perfect. Commentary shit. Okay, I'm done.
Teek mutters and says, "Well, that seems to have worked."
You had a silver piece behind your ear. It's keeping it from stitching itself together.
Duly noted.
So, are we heading directly to the what do we have at our in dealing with this problem?
Generally, up to this point, we've been handling it with determination and mock.
In other words, by our ass.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming we know what the ultimate, or we have an idea of what the seriously.
You broke up. I have no idea.
Has anyone here tried taking one of the Earth fires before they get to?
Well, the problem with that is that up to this point it's been relatively difficult to get a lead on.
Well, if we can't track them, we can. If we can't track them, we at least know where they're going. It might be possible to. If they need all four Earth fires, we could force them to come to us. If we know how they're taking.
I wouldn't say we know the how. As I understand it, that's not within the bounds of the knowledge of any arcanist around here these days.
Not currently, but change.
Research and all that I'm well familiar with. However, so far we haven't beaten her there. And I'm sure that's possible. However, considering the mode of operation has generally been very stealth and backstab and misdirection and that sort of thing, I don't know how well that would work either. Worth a shot.
Well, someone figured it out.
I'm inclined to just go find one of the heads on this Hydra and burn it off. Because there's more to it than just Elena.
True, but if they need these Earth fires and we locate it the place of our choosing, then therefore find us on our terms.
Well, I like a surprise.
Playing them at their own game is the way I look.
Well, if we're just protecting the Earth fire, then yeah, we're doing it on their terms in a lot of ways. In some ways we're choosing the ground, but they are researching it and planning their attack and so on and so forth. And hiding our presence is probably going to be harder than not. Just dropping in unannounced, on the other hand, I think has, well, a lot more appeal for starters. Good odds for success, a few other things.
And if they know you're following them, protect them. They might not be expecting us to head up.
Broke up.
So what they might not be expecting is for us to cut them off to go.
Maybe.
That is an option.
Well, what do the rest of you think? Personally, I think as far as a timing situation, if we drop in on Elena and deal with her first, that will slow her down and we can start working on the rest of them. Just like taking out Terror Cry starts making things a lot more possible.
What a ridiculous name.
Our mission is to Elena.
Yeah.
The problem is according to these two, Elena caused a civil war to get what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
She will rain hell on us. We need to have the proper backup for whatever she throws.
Not to mention at the last Earthfire, she wasn't cast.
Well, I'm not saying she's going to be the only one we'll have to deal with, but one thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
I think we should rest. Go off for a second. Traveling days to get here.
Well, resting is all well and good. I think my question is whether in the morning I prepare for scrying and teleporting and combat or something.
What do you have prepared for today?
Oh, pretty much the usual assortment of devastation and the occasional healing spell.
Okay.
I don't know. Traveled with us as you should always be ready for combat and devastation.
Oh yeah, always. Except for that one time we were thinking about sneaking into a place, and then I was thinking, okay, so we'll do the scouting thing, and then in the morning I'll prepare for sneaking and getting into places.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how that worked out. Well, not everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel like I need to ask this question. You're not the first adventuring group I've been with that I've joined up with at the time, and it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say I could have found a more competent time. But what is your track record for success for these engagements to find yourself?
In engagements where we actually managed to fight them, pretty well. We've not.
So your issue is finding.
The one time we caught up to her, before we actually get her directly teleported away.
I got within 30 feet, approximately, before she managed to escape. Bear in mind, that was 30 feet vertical. I was climbing at the time.
We've also taken down one of Archblade Generals, or no, one of the Archblade or something.
Say that again. You cut off. You cut up a lot in that. I didn't quite get all of it.
Stupid microphone. Who the Archblade? That was a general in his battalion.
Yeah, it was a yeah.
Okay. Taking out an Archblade general and a battalion of his men.
You have been busy, haven't you?
No, then there was the Deathin that Deela was surprised we had taken down.
I don't believe it would just be her.
Don't forget the Mountain of Werewolves.
Yeah. And there have been more, but the point is, as far as that goes, we're capable. And honestly, part of the dropping in unexpected is they will not be necessarily in, fighting ready and everything like that. With a little decent planning and information, we can catch them sleeping without their armor on, and preferably not even together. If all goes well, we catch her in the loot, and then just blow it up from the outside and pick through the splinters and make sure we have enough meat to make a corpse.
I'm going to share a little insight with any competent arcanist is never caught unawares. As far as I can tell, you don't have any type of warding against scrying nation magic on your person at this time, am I correct?
I mean, most of us are capable of spellcasting, but I would not.
Well, the whole warding thing is the purview of arcanists, which we are entirely without until now.
So up until this point, you would be prudent to assume that everything you said and done, she's aware.
And yet we still seem to be somewhat unexpected. Or at least more effective than they estimate us. So.
What that may be saying is, don't assume you're catching them unawares, when at any one moment they could be aware of you. what you're saying or doing. In some cases, even thinking, depending on the magic she subscribes to.
She's a conjuration.
Oh. Well, that explains it.
She deals mainly in collecting, using rare and dangerous creatures that she's somehow modified.
That, and she's never seen a more diligent people at her.
Though I have to agree with you in the sense that she's probably always on guard. Especially knowing that we're on her tail as long as we have.
If not her, the people that work with her, at least. I will be working in the next 100 days to see that we have a proper place to speak, that we can be, that we won't have to worry about eavesdropping, arcane eavesdropping. It's not something I can do today, unfortunately. I didn't prepare for it, but tomorrow we're just working with a lack of information, which is what you've already told me. So, and we have a 50-50 chance of being, at least of being correct, and guessing where she's heading to next.
Why do you guys have to guess? Does anybody have the ability to scry?
Was that in character?
No, there's no NPC there. I was legit asking.
I mean, yeah, I have scrying. Well, I just don't have it prepared.
Ogun does, but it's prepared.
But he also doesn't know what she looks like or any of that sort.
And neither do I. Or neither does Bias.
Ogun's seen her in person.
No, I'm saying Bias hasn't, so if we were to have him do the scrying
right
out of character, it would be not
That'd be at a
useless,
disadvantage.
super disadvantage.
Yeah, my only comment was why wait.
Okay. Well, I agree with the why wait. How about a little, let's find a better place to do it. The other thing is, so, Brandon, we went through this whole, donating stuff and everything like that to get the helmet teleportation.
Yeah.
Come to find out, we have a brand new PC to the party who's capable of doing it himself. I kind of question the relevance of all of that, unfortunately. It seems to be that might have been silly.
Well, the helm can teleport 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Player characters can only do it once. So it's still nice.
Okay.
Well, I mean, can't you...
That's our extraction plan.
Can't you prepare teleport multiple times a day?
Yeah, you can prepare it, but you only get 1 7th level, 1 8th, and 1 9th.
Oh, that's how they get you. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This edition, you never get more than 1 7th level spell, which is, it's fun and it's
I'm
fun.
not having fun.
Yeah, it's also scary.
I'm not having fun.
The thing to look at though is demons and other big non-player characters that get at will spell casting 4 times per day disintegrate on their list, which is oh, okay. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, but oh dear.
But yeah. Anyways, if you guys have it prepared, then you guys could end tonight on scrying. Otherwise, we can end there for the evening.
Let's go ahead and do the scrying. I got 2 shots. The only tricky part is, and the other reason I was looking at the whole loot system right now, unfortunately, that takes a focus worth at least 1,000 gold. Crystal ball, silver mirror, something like that.
Yeah, you are in the university. There are areas that they study divination magic. I will say inside of the Calgaran ward, there is a divination tower.
Okay.
Who would we name this tower after? It's a famous mage.
Francis.
Francis? Oh, I was gonna name it something else.
Francis's Tower.
Alright. The Francis Tower of Divination is inside the Calgaran ward. They have a scrying basin that you can use for free. Casting...
Hey, Elward.
Go ahead. He's probably asleep.
I'm actually going to head back to the inn.
Okay.
Try and talk with both guys.
Okay. And we'll pick up on that on the next session.
Okay, that's fine.
Inside. Oh, go ahead.
Say if Elward still had any of the gold that Elena gave.
I think he actually spent some of it.
He spent most of it. Let's see. I was just gonna ask if you guys had anything from her. Yeah, he has 4 gold. The chances of that being the of the 2,000 gold she gave him is slim to none.
Is it since he hasn't really gotten any other gold since then?
Well, he has he has gotten gold from Fractus.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What about the bag? She threw him a bag of gold.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I'll rule that's where he has his bottle corks in. The bag's not recorded on his sheet, the pouch. But yeah, he wouldn't depart with it.
Bet you hate looking at my character sheet and that shit that I have.
I'm actually looking at everything he has, and also Alward has a Earthfire crystal, palm size from the first Earthfire too. Anyways, casting Scrying on her. What is Ogin's spell save DC?
16. Ace.
16? Okay, and let me get all of your modifiers.
So, knowledge, I should be flat at 0, assuming I don't count as familiar, having studied her and everything like that all this time. And then possession or garment, if we do have that bag, is -4 to the save.
Okay, do you let Fractus draw a picture? Oh no, Fractus isn't there. Yeah.
No, the picture, well, actually, do they stack?
Let's see.
I believe they do.
Okay. Because if they do, Ogensar pretty up close, he'll draw a picture.
Is it a good picture? Roll me a performance check.
Probably not. Performance.
If only somebody had a piece of her hair. Yeah, it is not a good picture. That's not gonna cut it, but...
Hang on. He crumbles it up, throws it away, and then throws... can I use guidance on myself?
Yeah, guidance can affect you.
Alright. Cast guidance on myself and do it again. Hold on, I just learned this one.
Alright, hold on.
There's that. And then... Okay, 21 total.
Alright. She's got a +8 to wisdom saves. Alright.
This is what Ogin's picture looked like.
Well, the first one was pretty garbage, so...
She is going to fail, she's going to fail that, scrying attempt, and she uses legendary resistance. Good night! No, I'm kidding. What picture did you post, Shelby? I didn't see it.
Check on Roll20.
Roll20.
See, I don't see any picture there.
Oh, did you draw in the background?
Yeah,
oh, I see it. I see it, Elena. Oh, that's beautiful. At the top
there.
of the page.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's a likeness. All right.
It probably got a little square that had the color of whatever garment she was wearing at the time.
You guys are going to scry on Elena. There's 10 feet of sensory details on this on the scrying orb. Whatever she's on, there is a bunch of rain. She is clinging to something. It is wooden. There are people running around with spears next to her. It looks like she's in the middle of some tumultuous event as the ground itself is rocking and swaying. She is firing spell after spell over the side of this ship before the whole ship itself leans to the side, and Ogun is going to get a glimpse of just the waters closest to the ship, and everything past the 10 feet of sensory details looks like foggy. And you get a glimpse of swirling water before you see the ship fall almost what seems to be 100 feet. The water closing in overhead. And this goes on for how long does Ogun watch?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
By the way, while he's watching, is there, due to the nature of the water or anything like that, he can figure out maybe where she is?
Where she is, the sensor it's very difficult for the sensor to discern greater locations. If it passes by anything uniquely noticeable, then definitely.
I was going to bank on his knowledge of nature to see the characteristics and color of the water. Is it closer to the shore? Is it out at sea?
You can roll me a
fish going by, anything like that.
Yeah, you can roll me a nature check on that.
25.
Okay. As you are watching, you are going to see a hydra swim by, and very specifically the hydra you guys killed. You're gonna know that as one of her personal pets in her menagerie. Probably some sort of arcane copy of it. And it has several blue figures in its mouth. And you can see these same blue figures are blurring onto the ship, running by occasionally, fighting the people on whatever ship she's on. At some point, she would get knocked off the side of the ship, clinging to it, still casting any spell she can. And this goes on for the entirety of 10 minutes. If you had to guesstimate and assume anything, she is somewhere within the warm water straits, probably headed for the deep sea earth fire.
Well, it's a good thing we decided to look.
She's
okay,
close.
To the party.
What those things or blue people were, no humanoid civilization lives around this thing.
Okay. Well, folks, I've got good news and bad news. Which one do you want first?
Bad news, of course.
Bad news is she's close to one of the earth fires, and it's not the one that we thought she was going to. So the good news is we don't have to go to the one on land. She's going to the one under the ocean right now. And she doesn't look like she's very far away either. And since this is a tower of divination, I'm sure there's a map around
I can move you guys to the map. The warm water straits. I'm gonna do this in dark blue. It is this area of ocean right here. The earth fire has never been seen by mortal eyes, but the water is, of course, very warm from its presence. The goddess Umiya, when she was traveling to Heimsdale, delivering the Terai, ascended at sea somewhere in the voyage. There.
Okay.
Or you think it's possible for us to teleport to that location before choosing reach it?
Well, if we can get there really soon, like within the next, say, few hours, she will probably be a lot shorter on spells than usual.
Well, is teleportation to this location possible? Do you know?
I think our accuracy is going to be somewhat lacking.
You
Is
just
there
need
anything
to.
I saw in there that would be able to give me a, like, can I say, that ship right there?
No, you'd be on the viewed once table of the teleportation.
Wouldn't Teak know where the Earth Fire is, though?
Well,
Being a devotee of Umiya?
It's very interesting you bring that up.
I'm not there.
I really hate it when he says that.
This is metadata.
Yeah. Teak wouldn't know the location of it because it's not something Umiya just preaches to people, just oh, it's right here. But within the chantry, she is gone. She is gone 9 out of 10 days of the week, doing something in the ocean. She preaches to her followers every 10th day.
Alright, yeah, I see where this is.
Oh, we're about to go meet Teak's deity.
Ooh, fun.
Is that where you guys want to end for the night?
Sure. That's up.
I mean, you might as well, right?
Yes, we can. Alright, adding a member to the party. Sorry that took so long. I just wanted it to be organic because I feel like it's stronger when I let it happen that way.
Sure.
That was, huge benefit. Obviously, you guys have the rest of the time to explore inside of Sky's Reach if you want to before you head out. Let's see, something else. Oh, yeah, you guys got big information from Dila. It was a pretty Ogun-focused session tonight.
Well, he is kind of back in his town,
Yeah, one of the things, Sky's Reach is, as I was thinking about it, I was like, only Ogun has significant stuff to do here. It's hard for me to think of stories for everybody. It would be a lot better when you guys get to Galkin and the fresh openness of that place. Handling. You guys have a member of your party who is dead. Handling that racism is going to be fun. Or liveism. I don't know. Oh, and then there was another significant thing. Oh yeah, the unveiling a little bit of the ruby shadow, and I told you, Soulmane, that pendant has power, and just showing it to people, and that's a small thing of just oh my god, they're here. What do you want? What do you need? Anything, of course. So 5 major events tonight.
Rupert needs to get one of those.
Rupert Hornswallow?
That's right.
You can steal it from Soulmane, and then, Soulmane can order a hit on you. I'm gonna say 4,500 for tonight. And you guys are moving into the evening of the 26th. And your next session, we're not going to do that bonus session. Your guys' next session is going to be on the 10th of June. Can everybody make that?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right, and we'll have the third ever appearance of Umiya. Which is funny because the last group to see Umiya alive and doing stuff was actually...
Wait, what?
No, she's not dead. My bad. That's bad. That's bad phrasing. The last group to see her was Group 1. I don't know if you remember this, but Group 1 went into her chantry. Malik and some other people did, and it was right after she had been attacked, and she emerged from her pool, and she was bloodied and injured, and her clerics were tending to her, and then Malik and the rest of Group 1 were just standing there looking at her, just isn't she a god? What does this mean for our world? What? And then nobody ever asked any questions.
The group of atheists is that's weird.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing ever. Because you guys just...
You're not real.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me.
You guys just kind of stood there and was just that's a thing. Okay.
Well, at least we didn't call her a salty wench. Pretty sure, have to do so at time.
Anyways, I'm going to end the stream there. Thank you guys for your time. Sorry for going a little bit long.